evening, guys. This is the Rabbit Hole Report brought to you by the Daily Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Marcus. I got a lot of absurd stories to go over today, and I'm gonna tell you they're very comical. It's almost like they're playing with us, but not playing with us, but saying things don't exist, but saying things do exist, but burying the reports under stupid stories that really don't matter, right? Listen, we had this conversation some time ago about weather, harp, things of this nature, right? Weaponry, dues, DARPA. These are one of my favorite topics. I'm not gonna front to you. I always talk about the weather warfare of harp or DARPA, or is it a thing? Are they really doing it? Do these weapons exist, right? Okay. Listen, I got a couple reports plus a video that I've already done kind of talking about this, but it's so funny because the reports are admitting what they're doing, but not admitting what they're doing in the name of science. I can't make this up, guys. Listen, if you guys come to me for hard hitting war events, deep state conversation. Look, sometimes I'm going to skip the war events. I'm going to skip the deep state conversation and talk about the real obvious elephants in the room. Why this is so believable and the absurdity of them lying to us as if this doesn't exist. The Daily Rabbit Hole is exactly what it sounds like. We dig into different subjects, different conversations, but I'm not finna sit out here and ride trains. Okay, like I don't do the whole get on here the deep state, Trump, MAGA, or liberals. Go. I don't do that. Like I don't have any reason to be a part of those sides. Okay. My job is to be a filter for y'all and find reports that are very questionable that almost prove, if not completely prove, that there is something going on with our government, the elites, the way the world's ran, kind of an open view. Now, don't get me wrong. I talk about subjects that matter. I understand the social issues in America. I understand the politics of America. I understand the financial realm that we're in right now, too. Now, can I sit here and talk to you like a complete specialist in this? No, but I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I cover different subjects when they need to be covered, and I'll call out the BS when it's time to call out the BS. And no matter if it's race relations, politics, feelings, thoughts, if it's BS, it's BS. We can have an open discussion about whether it's true or not without feelings. And a lot of times I hear people say, everything in the media is bullshit. And yeah, to some extent, it's pretty watered down. And I don't deny that. But it's the reports that make me laugh, like the ones that we're about to go through today, right? And the absurdity or the absurdness of it by telling people that they're conspiracy theorists, but then you go over to like a couple countries over and they're like, blah, 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 blah. This is how we're going to do it. And you're like, that's the same thing they just said they don't do, but they do. So today I'm gonna have some fun. Let's all have some fun at the shit show that we're living in right now. That is the human experience. Because there's no way these reporters or these news agencies just don't know what they're reporting, or they're not like paying each other any attention. Just all right. So look, I'm gonna play the video first to jog your memory about some stuff, okay? So this video I did maybe about a month ago, right? Talking about chemtrails and contrails, because CNN, of course, put out an article that said conspiracy theorists believe in chemtrails and why are the states banning them? And my response was, if it didn't exist, you wouldn't need to ban it. Now, would you? It's kind of like in 95 when Clinton banned cloning and everyone was like, we didn't even know you could do that. And they're like, yeah, we're going to ban it. So pretty much telling you that they can do it without telling you that they can do it, right? Okay. Now, here's the video. Bear with me. Enjoy.
Daily Rabbit Hole here. Did you hear? Have you heard? Are you paying attention? Hold on. So CNN has put out a report saying that it's an unsubstantiated conspiracy theory that there are chemtrails being sprayed all over America in the skies. Sure, propaganda, because we can all go look up the patents. We've all had these conversations, and there's plenty of states trying to ban something that clearly doesn't exist. All right, hold on. So Florida has a weather control ban, SB 56, that takes effect July 1st. Now ask yourself a couple questions. If it doesn't exist, why are you trying to ban it? Two, have you ever looked up and noticed that the contrails don't disappear anymore? And I know the difference between contrails and chemtrails. Contrails is from plain exhaust in a cold atmosphere, and it's so hot that it freezes, then it dissipates, right? Contrails, condensation trails. All right. Now, chemtrails, which would stand for chemical trails, are when they're spraying barium, aluminum, iodine, and other things into the sky. Why would they do that? It's $1 million question. Don't ask me. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about. Look it up for yourself, find the patents, and you come back to me and ask yourself, why do they have the patents? Have a great day.
All right. All right. Now I want you to see some absurdity, right? Now, I don't know which one to give you first, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slide this one first. And here you go. All right. It says, why UK scientists are trying to dim the sun. Before I start this article, let me tell you something. Never in the history of the Most High in his beautiful God green earth has there ever been an idea to dim the sun. In history, theoretically, there's only been a few instances where the sun has been dimmed out. Two of them, two events that I do know about that they taught me in the education system was that when the comet came down and hit the dinosaurs, it lifted all the dirt and smoke and it covered the earth, and then ice age. Okay. Then there's another incident. Maybe it's Pompeii. Who knows if that actually existed? But they're saying a volcano exploded. Boom. Like what would Yellowstone would be, and it covered the whole entire Earth. It was like another ice age or whatever. It wasn't as long. It wasn't thousands of years. It was like 100 and something. All right. So in situations where people actually think about stuff like dimming the sun, you would have to ask yourself why, because nowhere in there is it a good idea to dim the sun. Okay. Listen, this weather modification idea and contrails and chemtrails, what's the difference? I'm going to read something to you. We're going to go through this report. It's comical to me because when they say things like this out loud and then kind of come back to another side and say, hey, we don't actually do that in another part of the world, it makes you wonder, are they playing with us? Are they being serious? Like, all right, just listen to this. The UK government looks set to approve controversial geoengineering experiments that include efforts to dim the sun. Area Advanced Research and Invention Agency, the government body that funds technology projects, just like DARPA, that's the UK version, okay, has set aside 50 million for the task, and specific small-scale trials will be announced within a few weeks. As the effects of global warming continue to intensify, so has interest in some sort of backup plan. That's why some scientists are doubling down on geoengineering projects, climate intervention tactics that range from sucking carbon dioxide out the atmosphere to brightening clouds. Listen to me, guys. You understand that's what trees are for, right? Like, that's what trees are here for. Trees are here to cleanse the air and suck up the carbon monoxide and produce oxygen. And and clean the air, and it keeps out pollution. That's why, the theory of trees being really big is a thing, right? But trees' jobs are to create oxygen. That's what they taught us in school, right? They take the carbon monoxide and they produce oxygen. That's what they taught us in school. I don't listen. I'm just saying, listen to what they're saying. Okay, hold on. Treating the symptoms. Most geoengineering trials aim to prevent excessive sunlight from reaching the Earth's surface. This is often done by either launching clouds of reflective particles into the atmosphere or using seawater sprays to make clouds brighter. So look, they'll tell you in one place that chemtrails don't exist, but they'll tell you in another place chemtrails exist. Nowhere in here did they say anything about contrails. Okay? Listen, nothing said about contrails. They are spraying particles into the atmosphere. I bet you my bottom dollar that those particles probably are made of like aluminum, barium, I think it's sodium iodine, uh, possibly like another metal. I can't think of the name. I cannot think. It may be like pieces of like iron reflectors. I don't know. But I know aluminum, barium, sodium iodine, or iodine sodium, one of the two, is three of the chemicals they do use. Okay. And then they're saying seawater spray to make clouds brighter. I don't understand. Why do you need to make clouds brighter? And why are you launching reflective particles into clouds? This is a ecosystem we live in, guys. We live in a self-sustaining ecosystem. So if the self-sustaining ecosystem is being manipulated with, then the self-sustaining ecosystem will not react normal or on schedule. It will do strange things. There's adverse effects. There are stronger storms, fires that pop out of places that we don't expect fires to pop out of places in. All right, bigger tornadoes, snow in Mobile, Alabama. And we're not talking like a little bit of powder. We're talking like a foot of snow in Mobile, Alabama. All right. With that said, let's finish this. Let's just get through a little bit more of this. And I'm going to speed over to another article that's really comical. If trials like ARIA's are successful, the techniques are adopted on a larger scale. It could temporarily reduce surface temperatures and harm the climate crisis and the harm the climate crisis is causing. Excuse me, guys. This would allow more time to cut worldwide carbon emissions, and there preliminary worldwide evidence that geoengineering might work. All right, now listen to this. I just said something earlier about it being a ecosystem, self-sustaining system. Now we speed up and it says tinkering with complex natural systems. They're telling you what they're doing, guys, all right? It says geoengineering can be crucial in the fight against climate change, but if scientists want to continue getting projects off the ground, they need to learn how to talk to the public about it because they haven't told most people about it. It's in the news, but they're banking on you being so bombarded and fed up or being stuck with the propaganda slop that they're sensationalizing all over the legacy networks and the mainstream outlets that you would not go into your local whatever paper, website, whatever, and look for the information yourself. They are telling you right now they don't know how to talk about it because they would have to, if they say one thing, they're going to have to omit another. And this is not me theorizing shit right now. This is me reading a news article to you right now. And I want you to understand something. They are sitting here telling you in the UK press, in the week.com, that UK scientists are trying to dim the sun. In the same conversation, China has also put up another sun, a fake sun in the sky to enhance to help global warming for some reason. Enhance it? I don't understand. What green initiative requires you to don out one sun and put up an artificial sun? If they are, listen, you Bible thumping folks, you for God's sakes, nowhere in the Bible does it say it's okay to dim out the sun. Y'all killing me, man. Y'all kill me with this. Like, and it's not y'all, the conspiracy group or the truthers or the believers, the awakened, whatever you call yourself. It's the people who sit here and say, well, if it was true, it'd be in the news. For fuck's sake, I keep finding it. There's no way. Oh my God. All right. Now, we've covered the fact that geoengineering is real, right? Now, we're going to speed to America's articles, and I'm going to show you something where we're at right now. Because the video that I showed you was CNN telling you that contrails don't exist. Well, chemtrails don't exist. It's conspiracy theory, but Florida's banning it, right? Okay, now I've just displayed the fact that the UK wants to dim the sun via chemtrails and ARIA's technologies, which ARIA is essentially what DARPA is for the UK. We've learned a new term, all right? It's ARIA in the UK, but it's DARPA in America. Now, let's move over. CNN put out 18 hours ago, a militarized conspiracy group believes radar are weapons and is trying to destroy them. So listen, what would be the irony of CNN telling us that Florida was banning something that didn't exist because conspiracy theorists believe chemtrails are real, which everyone knows they're like, you can look up in the sky and they're clearly reporting that chemtrails are a thing. Like, you can literally read this. They literally said they don't know how to tell the public. Okay? And when they say they don't know how to tell the public, they were talking about America's public. So what does America do? America puts it out as if it's a made up theory to ridicule us and make us look stupid. This is what you call playing on people's intelligence. And it's so absurd because they really are writing these articles. So listen, all right, let's go through this. Let's just go through it, all right? We're going to try to get through it. It's not a long read, all right? Bear with me. I'm sorry. The National Weather Service offices around the country are on guard after recent threats to agency infrastructure, especially Doppler weather radars. From a violent militia-style group, emails from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Security Office show. The group, Veterans on Patrol, which the Southern Poverty Law Center defines as an anti-government militia organization, views the NWS network of Doppler radar as weather weapons, according to internal NOAA email sent Monday and CNN and seen by CNN. Okay, so let's play devil's advocate. Okay, let's just play Mr. Conspiracy. Now, there's a huge chance that these people in this far-right violent militia group is reading the same news articles that I'm reading and seeing that in UK that they're spraying particles in the sky, reflective particles at that, okay? These could be the same people who are watching all of the Jesse Ventura videos about HAARP and seeing the Aurora Borealis extend all the way down to Tennessee, but then turn back around and read a report from HAARP and Washington or Alaska University about fake luminous aurora-like glows. So what I'm saying is this: if you're gonna put out all of this information, you can't be mad when people take the face value of the information that you're telling them in so many words that you can weaponize the weather. It's not fair to people who can actually comprehend this, and you sit here and write reports that state that it's a conspiracy theory, but you can go to other reports and websites and read that they can actually fake an aurora borealis, or they can create clouds that can block out the sun, or you can push rain to places that it doesn't rain in, which is crazy because you can do that, but there's starvation around the world and crop failure and deserts. It's not making sense. You are playing on a lot of people's intelligence by writing these reports. Propaganda fuel, legacy media, deep staters, whatever you are. I'm not even mad at this. It's actually funny to me because if you literally read it, they tell you that geoengineering is real until you come to America, and then all of a sudden it's a myth. The reason for this is if you admit one thing in America, you got to admit a whole bunch of shit that you lied about. And now we have to question certain events that we were already questioning for the last 20 or 30 years. This is what the youngsters call playing on my top. Come on, man. Really? Let's get through this. A previous email informing the National Weather Service workforce of general non-specific threats was sent May 1st. Monday's email was more action-oriented, with the NOAA Security Office noting that they are aware of several encounters, physically and virtually, with veterans on patrol. This group is advocating for anyone and everyone to join them in conducting penetration drills on NEXRAD sites to identify weaknesses which can be used to ultimately destroy the sites, the email stated, using an acronym for the Weather Radar Network. The group referred to NEXRAD system towers as weather weapons and claimed that there are no laws preventing American citizens from destroying the weapons, the email states. By definition, he's not wrong. There actually isn't. But the absurdity to tell us that there are people who believe in this, and then you have another couple news reports that are saying that they don't know how to tell the public that they can do geoengineering without them assuming that it's a weapon. Probably because in America, there's a huge chance that they're using it as a weapon. And I'm tickled pink, and I'm gonna be tickled pink this whole entire show, guys, because and I got some more articles to fuck with your head right now. I swear to you, they're playing with us right now. And I know they're playing with us because a lot of this stuff has already come out years ago. Jesse Ventura has been talking about weather manipulation for decades now. He did it as the governor of Minnesota. Riddle me that one. That was the craziest moment in history to see a governor who was a full-on conspiracy theorist. All right. They've had movies for the longest showing you that they've been manipulating the weather. Okay. It's not a secret. HARP and DARPA have been around for some time. They had known HARP could generate rain clouds, and it was supposed to be used as a missile defense system also. Could heat up the atmosphere and distort the frequency of the missile, causing the missile to go down. This is factual. You can go look this up. This is nothing made up. I'm not saying anything that's conspiracy fuel. We are covering the news right now. People, I am covering the news. I just want you to understand that. We're almost done. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Oh, hold on. It's unclear what the group believes the radars are doing. The NEXRAD, or the Next Generation Radar Network, has been in place since the 1990s and detects precipitation in the atmosphere. It can also help pinpoint tornadoes and severe thunderstorms, prompting timely, life-saving warnings. Questionable. The system is also used by the Federal Aviation Administration and the U.S. Air Force. So, hard pause, right? I want to make sure I catch what I'm about to say. Like, I got some words to put out, okay? Listen. Now, I had also wrote an article about, the aviation issues and the planes going down and it seeming like, frequency based. It could be easily frequency manipulation. In Spain and Portugal, what did you hear about? Rare atmospheric disturbances or incidents. Now, all these stories are coming out around the time where soft disclosures are coming out really quick. They're a dime a dozen right now as far as soft disclosures and what's happening, what's being said, what people believe is happening, and what the hell is actually happening. Okay. Now, I'm no specialist. I can't sit here and tell you that it's the deep state or the white hats or the red hats or the black hats or the green hats or any hat involved. I can tell you that there are systems in play, government contracts in order, and there are weapons and systems that if you turn them on at the same exact time, they all happen to do something within each other, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying there's some shadowy group doing this, although it would make you wonder why the Air Force and the Federal Aviation have so much access to NEXRAD and why these people believe that it's a weapon. Considering the information that we've all read and understood, and we know that dues do exist. Okay. Among other actions, NOAA security office advisors that NWS implement a buddy system when working a remote site and be alert for suspicious activity. Do not engage with anyone suspicious. Instead, notify local law enforcement. NOAA emails indicate the FBI and other law enforcement authorities are aware of the militia style group's activities and are tracking them and have issued bulletins about the NEXRAD threat. CNN could independently confirm that the FBI's involvement. Oh, can I independently confirm the FBI's involvement? They're probably involved. And I'm going to tell you why this is probably true that it's happening. Because in Alabama, probably last year, somebody cut down a 5G tower. Still don't know who it was to this day. I don't believe they found him, but they did cut the tower down. This is already happening. So it's funny that I'm reading it because there's some truth to this. Like, it's not as strange as they're making it out to be. What's more strange is that America is stuck in this place of soft disclosures but no truth. And for the truth community or the awakened, whatever, it's very comical when we see it because there are so many arrows pointing at to a weather manipulation system of some sort or a weapon used for weather that we see it and everyone else is like, yeah, well, if it was real, they would have told us. Not necessarily. They don't have to tell you anything. You're not important. Like that's the thing. Like, why would they tell you? Like, they would tell if they were gonna tell you, it's because they wanted you to know, but they don't want you to know. Why don't they want you to know? Probably because they're using it on you. You've heard about the smart dust, the fake fog, the oily rain, the snow that doesn't melt, the supercells that pop out of nowhere, the strange hurricanes that slow down, speed up, slow down. You've seen the strange particles on NEXRAD radar on the news. You've seen strange lines. Look, there's so much that people say they're seeing that no one knows what they're really looking at, but some people may be onto something. And what I'm telling you today, right now, is that this is right here soft disclosure. Okay. Boom. All right. Let's get through this. End of it says, we obviously deal with some fringe folks every now and then, chemtrails mostly, but specific threats to target facilities is pretty rare. Given the given the general temperature of the country right now, this stuff is especially concerning. Now would be a particularly an auspicious time for NWS radar to fail, whether due to mechanical issues or deliberate acts, since the agency has more than 90 vacancies for the technicians that normally repair them. The number is unlikely to change soon since a hiring freeze is in place at the agency. All right. What does that mean? It means that eventually there's going to be a weather anomaly that happens that they're not going to be prepared for and they didn't quote unquote see coming, and something bad's going to happen and they're going to blame us. Sucks, right? Yeah, but that's exactly what's probably about to happen. They're gonna say, oh, crazy conspiracy theorists. All right. Chemtrails. But chemtrails don't exist, right? They just told you they believe in chemtrails, but you can go to NOAA and NOAA has stuff that states chemtrails. They talk about chemtrails on the NOAA website. You can go look at it. This is why I said it's the same website that these people are reading. You're putting the information out here that they're reading and then reporting that they're acting strange behind it. Well, if I go back to the UK scientists are trying to dim the sun, it would make sense why people are really sensitive right now about weather manipulation and why some people don't believe it's happening because for whatever reason, this isn't weather manipulation. Trying to dim out the sun is not manipulating anything. Dimming out what the Most High, whoever that person is, created the sun. It's a star. You want to dim out the sun. Think about that. What reason would you have to dim out the sun? The sun has been here for millions of years. The sun is the reason this whole entire ecosystem is thriving. It's living. It gives life. They used to worship the sun worship. Now you want to dim it out on the expense of global warming. Soft disclosures, people. Soft disclosures. We're going to take a quick break. All right. A little advertisement time. All right. Feel free to follow the Daily Rabbit Hole. I have a website, thedailyrabbithole.org is up and running. It's live. A lot of content goes on here. The podcast is uploaded through there on Spotify. All right. So you can go to the actual website and listen to the podcast. All right. Feel free to donate. Feel free to go to all my social media pages. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You've been seeing the stream at the bottom. I hope you enjoyed that. All right. Go to the pages, check out my content. A lot of this will be chopped up and on there. Feel free to holler at me. Have a good time. Daily Rabbit Hole. All right. Thank you. Moving on. Now, I want to start this one too in a particular way. So, I'm going to blot that out. All right. So, you guys seen all the Doomsday movies, right? And in the Doomsday movies, like specifically Deep Impact, in Deep Impact, they had tunneled into a mountain. Forget where. I think it was maybe like Virginia-ish, somewhere in maybe Wyoming. Can't remember. Old movie. But in Deep Impact, they had these tunnels underground. And all the people, they were like doing a lottery so people could like be saved from the meteor and the flood, that all that was coming, right? And people were like, dang, that's crazy. Would they really have to like build a bunker in the mountain and bring, and let people in? Well, there were some truths to that movie. Well, fortunately, one of the truths is that they do have bunkers under mountains and underground. And, in the event that something happens, that they are stocked with food, rations, beds, flowing water, and all of the workings, right? They have enough to sustain life. Now, bad news is for us, we weren't invited to that party. The movie lied to you. You're not going to make it. And you know what movie didn't lie to you? 2012. They left everyone to die and they brought the rich people who could afford tickets. Okay? A lot of times they're going to show you this depiction. They are not lying. Why are they not lying? Because the reports are out right now. And here you go. In India today, which I had to pull India today because in America they're spinning it as something else, but it's floating around. I'm sure Newsweek picked it up. But this was a conversation that was had on the Tucker Carlson show, and it's Catherine Austin Fitts, former Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Between 1998 and in 2015, she states that $21 trillion, which is funny because they were missing $21 trillion at one point. Crazy, right? Right before, 9/11. $21 trillion went missing, and she's saying the U.S. built an underground city for the rich to survive doomsday. Do you believe this? I surely believe it because I know how vain the elite are. The elite are really vain. And when I say vain, like they put themselves above the most high for whatever thing that they're worshiping, whatever demonic entity that you've heard in these stories, this is what they're doing. Okay. They have a bunker for themselves, which we've all assumed this. And if it's true, it's an interconnected network of tunnels with these bunkers with light speed rails or the hypersonic rails, like the ones you've seen in Black Panther Wakanda, the Wakanda railway system. You know what I mean? Yeah. The DUMBs, the deep underground military bases. Yeah. Soft disclosure, they're real. Oh, man. Listen, the elites are already down there. This is why people are building bunkers. I bet you, I bet you that these bunkers are connected. Oh, what would make you think that? Because they're rich and they're elite and they're vain and they look out for themselves just like they've been doing the last 2000 plus years. Do I believe it? I surely think to some extent that there's a lot of truth to this. We've heard of Raven Rock. We've heard of people buying old missile silos and gutting them out, and there's a fresh water source in there, and they can live sustainable and free all they want. This stuff isn't unheard of, which is also funny because there's reports weeks ago that, there's something under the Giza pyramids. Look, guys, there's something buried underneath us. Whether you think it's an interconnected city, a deep underground military base, a secret city of giants and reptilians, I'm telling you now, there's a huge possibility that there could be something under us that we know nothing about that's been there the whole time, and they're just further expanding the system. Either you're going to buy into this stuff or you're not. But there have been reports over the ages of underground networks and tunnels in Chicago, in New York, and places like LA and Arizona and Texas. Think about it. All the movies that they show you, what are they doing? They're digging into mountains. They're digging underground. They're always Resident Evil. Resident Evil, The Hive, underground. They made a whole video game about it. Yeah, it was a great video game, sure. But again, deep underground military bases, secret cities, driving into mountains and driving 10 miles into a mountain, into it, and then dropping off a load and driving out the other side of the mountain. People, they have the technology to do everything that I'm talking about today. Please stop assuming that they don't. It's just comical because these things are coming out, and it's so funny to me because like people are like, well, why would they want to hide? What are they worried about? They clearly know something we don't know, or they're gonna do something that requires them to hide from us. Either or, they're hiding from us, and we're not invited, which is weird. And I could go on for days about the theories, the events, the maps, the flooding, all that stuff that everyone's talking about and pushing or assuming and just trying to figure it out. We're all trying to piece this together the best way we can, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. So here's a disclaimer for the whole awakened community. No one's really a specialist in anything. We all just have really good comprehension skills and we're reading. And we all understand that if you keep reading the same things over and over, and then you keep paying attention to what they're soft disclosing to you, it would almost seem like they're doing it. Sure, there are people who are specialists. There are underground weather reporters. There are underground security advisors now. There are underground historians. There are people know what they're talking about to a certain extent. But I tell you for a fact, a lot of the stuff that's coming out are soft disclosures. They're basically telling you what it is without without telling you and letting you decipher and being like, slow day at the office, huh? No, not a slow day. They got to tell you something because apparently some of this stuff is about to be known. Something's about to happen. Oh, let's read this. Former U.S. official has claimed the government secretly funneled 21 trillion in taxpayer money to build an underground city for the ultra wealthy and top officials to survive a near extinction event. Do you remember Leave the World Behind? He was like, his friends had a conversation. He was like, he was getting ready to go somewhere, and sadly, that his accountant or his guy, the black dude, couldn't go with him, but the top advisors could go. Predictive programming, maybe, kind of. Maybe it's propaganda, but I'm saying this. I'm saying they're telling you something. They're telling us all something right now. What they're telling us, not entirely sure, but my last report, we're going to figure it out. It says Catherine Austin Fitts, who served as Assistant Secretary of the Housing and Urban Development under President George H.W. Bush, made the startling allegation on former Fox News host Tucker Carlson's podcast. She didn't offer evidence. As usual, when people come onto these shows, podcasters, right, they come on these shows, they don't always have documents. Some will have documents. Some will let the person read the documents, like Sean Ryan. He has a lot of security advisors on there. You ever watch these shows, Theo Vaughn, they have these people on here and they come on here and they say the most absurd shit that they can think of. And the sad thing is it's either partially true or partially horseshit. And it leaves us to find that middle place of bullshit in the middle that's completely true. A lot of the things that they're saying are things that we have already figured out and known for some time. We just want confirmation for the masses so they can shut the fuck up and not act like we're just losing our minds. Yes, I said shut the F up today, excuse me. Whenever this finds you, tonight, today, tomorrow, whenever it finds you. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. These people right now are soft disclosing a lot of this stuff. Shut your mouths and listen. Shut the front door and close the window. What is going on? Soft disclosure means everything in a world full of lies. And when they tell you that there's a possibility that $21 trillion that went missing right before 9/11 is probably the same 21 trillion that got funneled. Now, is this all true? Can't prove it because I've never seen the tunnel. What I'm saying is that they've been telling us sometime that this is possible. Okay? Now, what are they afraid of? $1 million question. What could be so terrifying that they have an underground network away from us, right? They want to survive a near extinction event. When you say near extinction, that means they got rid of all of us and they survived. Make sense? Okay. Now, understand that the Samson order in Israel's real. Mutual assured destruction is a thing. They've talked about a lot of these situations in a lot of movies. What I'm thinking in my mind, I'm not saying any of this is true. What I'm saying is that there's a huge opportunity for them to cause a near extinction event, survive it, and come back just like the Georgia Guidestones predicted. 500 million, and then they move from there with that small group of slave workers and people, and they live in a happier world. Believe it or not, entirely on you. I'm going to read a little bit more of this, and we're going to get to the last one, making some good time. She didn't offer evidence, but cited a 2017 study by Michigan State University economist Mark Skidmore that flagged major unauthorized spending across the Departments of Defense and Housing and Urban Development from 1998 to 2015. Fitz claims she spent years investigating where the 21 trillion could have gone, eventually discovering the funds were used to construct a vast network of about 170 underground bases Some of these bunkers are allegedly located beneath the ocean. You know, that theory about stuff coming out of the water is starting to seem real. Hmm, what's coming out of the ocean? We systematically went through and tried to estimate how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States. And our estimate was 170 with the transportation network connecting them. The existence of U.S. government bunkers is well documented. Facilities such as Mount Weather in Virginia, Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado, and Raven Rock in Pennsylvania are known to serve as command centers during crisis. These are proven, they are already real, they are not conspiracy people. This is real. So now they have a vast network for the top advisors in a near crisis event that they can survive underground. You know what this sounds like? This sounds like the time in the Bible he flooded the whole world and they went underground and survived. You Christians, you Muslims, you Jews, you all you people reading these books, and listen, and all you people, you atheists, whatever, they're telling you that the event could happen again, but I'm telling you that they may actually be the ones to cause the event, is what I'm saying. Big words for a little man, right? Sure, the Daily Rabbit Hole is not any of your big networks. We are not out here to sensationalize anything. I am not out here trying to scare you or sell you propaganda. I'm telling you right now that there's a huge chance that it's true. If they have those three bases known, think about it. Mount Weather, Cheyenne Mountain, and Raven Rock. You think those are the only ones? And I just sat here and told you people are turning missile silos into homes? Stop. Stop, guys. All right. Now, near crisis event, right? All right. Now, my last one is this. Bondi and Hegseth ordered to look at how military can be used in domestic operations. Trump's latest order violates the 1878 law designed to keep armed forces out of law enforcement concerns. Now, this does not mean what you think it means, and I'm not really going to try to go where this could go, right? You guys heard about the 10 days of darkness, the 10 days of disclosure. You've heard about the martial law coming. You guys have heard all these conversations about the white hats, the black hats, the deep state, the MAGA fighters, the groups that are supposedly out here fighting the deep state. This is literally what I've reported on today. Literally, right? Now, do I think that there's a chance that this man might get froggy enough to do it? As much as I believe that there's someone pulling the strings for him, sure. It says Donald Trump ordered Attorney General Pam Bondi and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to look at how the U.S. military might be used to prevent crime. The executive order strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent civilians was signed by Trump at the White House on Monday ahead of the 100th day in office Tuesday. It instructs Bondi and Hegseth to determine how military and national security assets, training, non-lethal capabilities, and personnel could be used to support domestic law enforcement. So initially, this could be to be rounding up all the deep staters and the people hiding in the shadows, or there's a theory that goes back to this also. And I hate to do y'all like this, but my guy David Goldberg had a very, very, very interesting point about this mass operation that had to be conducted to go into people's homes and kidnap podcasters, influencers, anyone who was not rocking with the new agenda. People like myself, people like who are all over the internet talking, Greenpeace people. Trust me, everyone's on the list. It's the only thing we've been invited to so far. All right. This order could be that. This could be a warning. I'm not saying it could go to that. I'm saying it does kind of sound like that though. Like in the event that they want to start rounding people up. And to be honest, you got to know that the police do not outnumber anyone. The police are only going to get so much accomplished in this theory. The military, it's hard to believe because it's our military. So I try not to think that this is some dark, sinister plot, but I always like to add in Project Pogo, Project Zephyr by David Goldberg, 2019, when he went on to speak his mind and give his information before his passing. Okay, and he states that there's a not a global operation, but a global scheme, or I guess a global operation to silence people via the YouTubers, the podcasters, TikTokers, and a track tracking ID system. All right, this is before TikTok. I'm just throwing TikTok in there because they got a tag tracking ID system for their setup. Your name is always in the video. Again, some of your TikTok creators and some of your favorite podcasters are CIA agents, openly. Former CIA, which is no such thing as you never former anything in that area. So that's bullshit. So again, I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm not saying this is what this man gonna do because I know how some of y'all get real sensitive and you don't want freedom. Trump is trying to take the deep staters down. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, people. I just want to make you understand that. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Okay? The order also establishes a legal defense mechanism for law enforcement officers accused of misconduct and threatens a crackdown on officials who prevent law enforcement officers from carrying out their duties. However, experts have already warned the latest order risk violating the Posse Comitatus Act 1878, introduced to keep the armed forces out of police matters. Okay? Listen, guys, this is a very slippery slope we're getting into. And you guys got to understand that somewhere down the line, you're going to find that this could either be for us or against us. And we don't know. We don't. We don't know where to go with any of this information. I give this information to you because it's apparent and it's very easy to spot if you know what to look for. But you have to do your research. You have to be open minded. You're going to have to unlearn a lot of things that you didn't want to unlearn. Because the truth is, there's clearly something going on. There's clearly a soft disclosure happening, and there's clearly a whole bunch of opposing forces or opposition we don't know about. So for me, you have to understand that what I'm doing is trying to give you guys the information. Okay? So for me, it's crucial that you guys understand that what's going on. I'm not saying Trump is going to try to take over and be third president, although it's possible. I'm not saying that they're going to hide in a bunker while they create the conflict. I'm not saying that, but it's possible. I'm not saying that they're using weather against us, but we know there's a huge possibility. And the more they deny it in America and admit it overseas, it puts pressure on our establishment and our administration to say something. So it's up to us to be prepared and understand whatever happened in Spain and Portugal, rare atmospheric incident or disturbance can happen here. And when it does, you need to be prepared. Okay? So before I get up out of here, I'm going to say this. All the news ain't propaganda. And some of that propaganda got truth in it. No matter when this video finds you, in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, the truth remains. There is a soft disclosure happening right now. No matter if no one believes you or you're the only one in your circle who thinks it's true, it does not matter. Prep your homes and get it together and be prepared because it could be all true or it could be all a lie. But do you want to find out if it's true and unprepared at the same time? No, you don't. So for me, for me, in my understanding, I would not play with any of this. I would take it with a grain of salt, keep a vigilant eye, and do know that there is something going on. And always understand this. It's up to you to believe it. I can't make you believe it. And I'm going to leave you with that note. All right, guys? You have a great day. You have a great night. You have a good morning whenever this finds you. All right? See you later.